and welcome to our wonderful International Youth Parliament discussion and meeting. Our call today it's just about 2 weeks before Christmas here in the United States, and so many different cultures celebrate Christmas in different ways, and I am so honored to have so many of you on the line. We were just talking before we started the recording about how so many are in studies at the university. Some just finished their exams. Some are having their exams. I am so pleased that you are working so hard to develop yourself, that you are studying and learning. And I said to one of our sweet International Youth Parliament ambassadors, I said, don't give up. You stay in school. And it's so important that you stay in school, no matter how hard it is, that you have courage, that you have determination, that you persevere, that even though the exams are hard, and even though you cannot go home for Christmas, and even though you have challenges at school, that you stay in school. Because when you have this education, as you know, it opens big doors for you. And forever and ever and ever, you will be so thankful that you stayed in school, that you kept studying, that you worked maybe part-time to earn money to be able to stay in school. I know that it's difficult. It's difficult for everyone at the university, but I want you to know how proud I am of you, that you are able to do this wonderful work and prepare yourself to be the leaders that you will be in the future, and that you are to your friends right now. So not yesterday, but the night before, I flew in from Vietnam, and then I went to Hong Kong, but I put on a big 3-day event for women in Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam. And I want you to know how impressed I am, how wonderful the opportunity is to meet with young people and women who are energized and have great big goals to improve their lives. And I taught them for 3 days along with my friend Dang Kim Phung. And she lives in Vietnam, and she is very well known and has a beautiful big heart. And she's also part of the International Youth Parliament. But I want you to know, sweet ones, how important it is that no matter how old you are, that you continue learning. Because most of the women who were there at the event, the conference in Vietnam, they weren't going to school. They already graduated, or they had their own businesses, but they kept learning and going to conferences and reading books and listening to podcasts and learning and learning. And so even though you may not be in school right now, do everything you can to continue developing and growing and getting more knowledge and more wisdom. So my darlings, the reason that I have my these headphones is because I left my laptop in Dallas, Texas at the airport. I am so embarrassed that I left my laptop. And so I had to borrow a laptop and to use these headphones. So I just wanted to tell you that no matter how old you get, sometimes you do things that are like, oh my goodness, how could I have done that? We all make mistakes, no matter how old we get. We do things that aren't always the smartest thing to do. But I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for coming. And thank you especially for Robin. Robin has so much snow in the state. She lives in Wisconsin, and it has lots of snow right now. And she's having a difficult time getting on. She can come on and off, but we want to thank Robin so much for all that she is doing. And she told you in the email that we are taking a break now until the middle of January because of the holidays and because of travel and because of other events. And we will be back with you in 1 month. And so we are taking a break. But today we are talking, having a conversation about two things. Number one, I want to hear from you what you thought about as last time we talked about communication. And we said we were going to discuss it more at the next call. And this is the next call. Then I want to talk to you about in my email, I said, I want you to tell me what you think are the two, but we're going to just have time for one, most significant, most important problems right now in your nation, in Uganda, in Nigeria, in all the nations that you are in, India, that big nation with 1.2 billion people in India. What is the biggest problem in your nation? And what is your idea about a solution? Because lots of people can talk about the problems, and many people talk and talk and talk about problems. This is the problem, especially in the United States right now. We're talking about, there's such a division between the Republicans and the Democrats. And President Trump is a subject of much discussion in America. And so we want to know, what is it in your nation that's not only the problem, but my darlings, what is the solution? You can't just talk about problems. You have to be thinking as a leader, how do I fix the problem? What can I do to solve the problem? Because everybody can talk about problems. What we need are solutions. We need people who say, I understand that this is the problem, and I have 3 ways that I think it can be fixed, that we can fix this problem, that we can make it better. And then you are part of the solution, because that's what leaders do. And you're never too young to be thinking about the biggest problems in your nation. Don't just think about the problems at your home or your university or your town, your community. Open your minds to be thinking about what is the biggest problems, what are the biggest problems in my nation, in my country, and how can you help fix them? And do not ever think, I'm too young. You're not too young. That's why we have this International Youth Parliament, so your voices can be heard. But before you have an opinion, you must know the problem. You must study the problem. You must find out, who is it that's already working on a solution? What are the NGOs? What are the non-government organization? And we just talked just now to, what was her beautiful name? The one who I was just talking in India to she's working on the solutions for some of the problems. Okay, so let's go back to communication. I know that we asked you to be thinking about, how can you best communicate? What are the problems about communication in your world, in your life, and in your nation? And how can you be a better communicator? So I'm going to have you just one at a time. This gets a little tricky, but we're going to, I need to go down to my managed participants. Okay, so I would like to hear from Gerald Nasasira. He is in Uganda. He is in Uganda. So Gerald, can you talk about communication with us right now, honey?
Yes, thank you very much, and a very good morning to you over there in Salt Lake City.
Thank you.
And yeah, as Mama has told you, my name is Gerald Nasasira, and I'm in Uganda, and I work with the community, closely with the community. Yeah. First of all, we have enjoyed a steady teaching and encouragement from you previously. Our
Thank you.
mama, yes. And it has been very, very wonderful, and especially with the issue of communication. So I would like, do you want me to answer 2 questions at a go, or I will answer one?
So you're first going to just talk about communication, and then I'm going to ask you, and then I would like you to answer the question, what is one big problem in Uganda and how can it be solved?
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. As our teacher, previously we have learned a lot concerning communication. And we have found that communication is a very great and key issue when you want to manage the society, when you want to manage leadership. And according to how you taught us, in my opinion, communication goes especially with language, how you use your language. Do you use positive words towards your subjects, for example? Because, for example, we have previously had issues with communication, like for me, who previously managed the issue of the university students. You found that the problem which was caused by the past leaders, especially in regard to poor communication, later affected the next cabinet or the next regime. So I am one of those that suffered the poor results or the bad consequences of poor communication of those leaders. So therefore, I was very much inspired by the book, which I like most, Solutions for Families, seeing closely with a man called Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison, when I contemplate very well how he managed to get the reward that he got, it was through silence. So he was able to listen and contemplate, because as a leader, we have to first of all contemplate, be not quick decision makers, but be people who can first of all listen from your subject. In this case, these are the people that we lead. And secondly, we have to slowly respond to the issues. So Thomas Edison, when I contemplate very well, Thomas Edison, first of all, he did not know about anything concerning the price of the machine to the people of Western Union. But because he was going to talk about the less funds, or maybe the less money which was worth the equipment, but he was quick to listen until he got the best reward. So to me, I learned a lesson that when you are not quick to learn, when you are not quick rather to decide, and you listen people to talk, and then you listen from them, the big reward as leaders can actually come. And this comes to the issues of conflict resolution. We have solved the different issues through listening. A leader must listen. That's a key issue that we must do, because you have people in the community that speak about the problems. And so, you find that this could be a contentious issue. But then this one has a problem, this one has a problem A, B. So what do you do in that circumstance? It needs you to hear both sides using silence. And then you come up with a decision that can actually bring justice to the people. And then secondly, you have to use positive words, positive wording. It has been very, very key, even on the family level, that when you are not kind in talking, people basically may actually not get you. Like we have had issues of arrogant leaders here in Africa. And these leaders have actually ruined our kind of system, whereby we need to be kind to the people, because a person brings a problem, and also you have to decide in some way or another. So in that way, you have to talk kindly, listen to the person first. And when you listen to the person first, and then you speak kindly to the person, in that way, you never know, could be emotionally impoverished. You never know. because you have to first of all read the kind of situation he or she is in, and then you have to very well speak kindly, and then that way you inspire the people. Like for example, in my community, I've had the people bringing many problems, especially issues concerning the family. My husband did this, my husband did this. So like if I am arrogant to this person, I may not help the person. So what to do is you must first of all listen and then use kind words. When you use kind words, it means that you are going to touch this person's heart and is going to heal the brain. So that's what basically I have actually said about that.
That's
Then another
wonderful,
one.
wonderful. And in just a minute, we'll talk about the problem in Uganda. But I want everyone to hear that Gerald talked about also that this is one of the steps also in conflict resolution. And this is something
Exactly.
that we will be learning about is in our next call in January, conflict resolution. Because
Yes.
when you are a good listener, then you can hear with your heart also, not just your ears, but your heart, and your not just your head and your ears, but your heart too. And you are really trying to understand what that person is saying and what they are trying to communicate to you. And that's the biggest step in conflict resolution, is to be able to
Yes.
really try to understand that person, or you'll never be able to resolve a conflict, a problem. Okay, let's go to the problem in Uganda. What do you think is the number one problem and your solution? And I'd like you to tell it in 2 minutes or less.
Okay, thank you once again, my wonderful mama. The biggest problem, according to, because there are very many problems, by the way, but the problem that I could actually bring out, the problem of corruption. To me, because corruption has ruined this kind of development that Uganda should have reached for decades and decades. So now, what is the solution now to this problem? First of all, we as youth or other stakeholders or maybe other people concerned must rise up to criticize the issue of corruption. Us, the people, must first of all come up and tell our leaders that this is wrong. We stand against it. Secondly, there should be a legal framework which can, first of all, incriminate those culprits that have actually embezzled the public funds. Because corruption in Uganda is basically public embezzlement, which is a problem now at the moment, and it's a current development problem, which is an issue. So therefore, finally, we have to bring in what I can call the leader himself, making an example of punishment. Because, for example, in Uganda, the president has been looking on when the people have been embezzling funds. In any case, in local government, people are really, there is a way they are mistreating us, development workers. So this is why the weakness the president has undergone, and we have actually had this serious problem of corruption. But as leaders, even at the international level, we can come up and stand and challenge these governments that what they are doing is actually very wrong through tolerating the corruption, which is a disease, and it has stampeded the development that we, the people, can see. That's my take, my mama.
Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. And one of the challenges is then how we can how do we get them to listen? How do we get the leaders who are in their offices right now? What can we do to have them really listen? And I think that partly then we need to have the young people. That's why we have this parliament.
Yes.
to be able to go onto social media, to be able to get articles in magazines and newspapers and have the media behind the truth.
Yes. We expose them.
Yes, and to expose it, but not do it in a way that will make them angry, but then in a way that would have the people say, oh my goodness, they are right. And more people are listening to your solutions. So thank you so much, Gerald, and we appreciate that. Thank you. So let's go to Comfort. Comfort. Let me get Comfort up. And I'm going to unmute Comfort. And if you could talk to us about what you learned about communication, Comfort, and your thoughts about that, and then what is the biggest problem in your nation? Okay.
Okay, can you hear me?
Okay, there we go. Comfort, yes, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. You said we should talk about two things we learned in communication. While communicating, just like he has said, you listen. You have to pay attention. You should listen to that person that's talking to you. You should understand what that person is trying to tell you. Just like you said, you don't just listen with your ear, with your heart and mind. Try to understand what that person is trying to tell you. Not just, okay, I've heard you, it's gone. No. Let's listen. You should understand what this person is telling you. The person may not talk, may not say things verbally. Just like this body language. Remember, and I once asked you a question about that.
Yes.
You said I can repeat what the person said. The person may use a body language trying to communicate to me. Sometimes there's a situation where somebody will look at you as your eyeball. You'll be looking at each other. By just that person looking at you, you understand that person is trying to pass something to you. That person is trying to pass a message to you. So you should take your time, listen to that person, understand what that person wants, so that you can respond, give him an answer that you understand. This is what I'm trying to get from this person.
You were really paying attention. Yeah, you've got it exactly right. Thank you, Comfort. Could you share with everyone what nation you're in, what country you're in?
I'm from Nigeria.
Yes, but everyone knows now. We've had other people come onto the call. So Comfort is in Nigeria. What is the biggest problem in Nigeria, you think?
Well, I would have talked about corruption, but he has talked about corruption. So now let me talk about unemployment.
Okay.
We have a lot of students, a lot of graduates now in Nigeria, no work to do. And
so
one of these things
So Comfort, you cut out a little bit, and what she said was that there are many who do not have employment, even those who have university degrees. Okay, keep going, honey.
And in this aspect of unemployment, majorly, 1, religion. 2, tribal sentiments. You're qualified because the person in position, you're not of the same religion with him. The person will look down on you. Even though you're qualified and your qualification is, with your qualification, you're based to get that kind of job. But because of that religion, you're not his religion. You're not from his zone. You're not his tribe. You know, we Africa now, tribe. You're not his tribe. So you go and look for someone that is not even qualified than you. Maybe you are a degree student and that one is diploma. Because it's of this religion with that person, or he comes from the same zone with that person. So that person will be given employment while you're still hanging out and walking around. And with unemployment, it has caused a very it has been very effective in our land here, in our country, frustrating people for no job. Some people will decide to, all these Yahoo boys, go to the internet, rob people, tell them this, they should give you money, there's this business, and armed robbery, vandalism, all because of unemployment. Because you think, I'm qualified, I'm supposed to be here, this is what I'm supposed to be given. But because of this religion and tribal sentiment, this is the number one trouble we are in Nigeria here today. And
thank you so much. And that's
hello,
a big problem. Go ahead.
now, with this situation, it possesses a lot of gap, and it creates a lot of gap. Well, we have like for someone like me now, I'm a graduate, but thank God I have an NGO that I'm hiring to. A lot of us have been applying. You go this place, they'll say no. Just like I've said earlier on, this person is not my tribe, this person is not my religion. This is one of the number one problem we have here in Nigeria. He has talked about corruption earlier on, because everyone, everywhere, almost everywhere in the world now, that Nigeria is the most corrupt country in the world. And people go about corruption. Corruption has been an epidemic in the world. It has to fight to make, one has to fight to make life worth living. Corruption is seen as an act or idea or something that can aid a good way of governance. Many people have mistaken corruption to be the only liquid finance as the result of that.
Okay, Comfort.
Yes.
You have done a fabulous job. Your connection isn't the best, and we're not getting all of your words, but what you have said is talking about how corruption is such a problem that the leaders with power are corrupt, and like Gerald said, they embezzle the money, and they take the money from the citizens. And when you talk about the employment, you said if someone is not in the same tribe, if someone does not have the same religion, then they don't get hired. And so your solution was to find your tribe, find someone in your religion, find someone who is like you to hire you. That is a solution. So I love what you have said. I am sorry that you don't have a great connection because we're not getting all of your sweet words. But thank you, and we love you. Okay, we'd like to hear.
Thank you, I love you too.
You're welcome. Thank you, darling. So we would like to hear from Maurice. Maurice is at school right now, and he is in a classroom. And I would like to have you speak, Maurice, if you could.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, honey. I've got to move this thing down. Okay, go ahead, sweetheart.
Thank you. I'm the same page. If I come for the same problem here in Rwanda is a drop race. So for me to...
did everyone hear that? He's in Rwanda. And there's much corruption in Rwanda too, is what you said. So what are solutions for this, honey?
Yeah, we have to work hard so that that corruption, we know that corruption is given by there are people the citizens that want to give that money or other things. So we have to remove it by ourselves, not the government, not the police. How to do ourselves.
How to draw from yourselves? What did you say?
But the problem here, the most problem is the problem of unemployment.
Finding employment, and that's just like what Comfort said, finding employment. So what are some solutions that you think could be done? What could be done in Rwanda to have more people have jobs?
So we have to work our solution, our service, like to create sustainable solution to create jobs by ourselves.
Create your own business. Start your own business.
Yeah, our own business. Yeah, like that. No.
That's a great solution. Not to try to depend on others employing you, but start your own business. What are some of the things that you've thought about that you could start?
Come again, please.
What businesses do you think that some of the young people on this call, what could they do? What could they start? What business could they start?
Thank you. Like here in Rwanda, the government is supporting young people to create their own business, like to give them the capital, small capital, to they can do like coffee, to make coffee, and the other small business like agriculture businesses. Here in Rwanda, agriculture is most favorable because of climate and also how the nature of Rwanda and the tourism also. So Rwanda is developing to give the people the capital just to help them develop themselves in order to increase sustainable solution. Even though the farmers can give can employ many people in their everyday activities.
So is that something, Maurice, that the government is subsidizing, that they're giving people money to start their business?
Yeah, just like that. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Yeah.
Mm.
That's wonderful. So, so I love that solution, to instead of depending on others to hire you, to start your own. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Maurice. You're wonderful. Appreciate you coming and being on the call and contributing. Okay, so is it Nida Rahim? I am so sorry. Yes, darling. Can you share with us? I'm going to unmute. I'm going to, let's see.
Excuse me, Paula.
Yes, darling.
Paula?
Yes.
Evident has had his hand raised for quite a while and he wants to speak next.
Okay, so I haven't seen that. Who is it that you said?
Evident.
Okay, so he can speak after Nida Rahim. Okay, so I'm going to try to find Nida right here. And I'm not saying your name right. I'm sorry, darling. So unmute. Okay. Can we hear you, honey?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, can you speak a little louder?
Hello.
We can't hear you very well. Speak a little louder.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you, but it's very soft.
Hello.
That's better. Put it right on your mouth. Now
Hello.
try.
Hello.
Okay, now keep it there. Yes.
Yeah.
Hello, darling. What country are
Good
you
morning.
in? Where
I'm
are
from
you?
Pakistan. I am from Pakistan, ma'am.
Pakistan.
Good morning.
Good
morning.
Good morning. For
Yeah.
some, it's morning. So, honey, tell us what you think is the biggest problem in Pakistan.
Thank you, ma'am, giving me opportunity to speak here. And there are too many problems in Pakistan. And according to the report of United Nations Development in 2019, inequality of human development and education system and unemployment are at same level. They give same number, same ratio to these issues. But I go forward to solutions. No?
Yes, thank
Hello?
you. Yes.
Yeah. If they move inequality in Pakistan and give investment in and to raise same education system and launch a freelancing programs for youth of Pakistan, which is 65% of 200 million of total population. And if they give freelancing opportunities and technical trainings with formal education, this is better for us.
That
Hello?
would be, that would be. What about the, your leaders? Would they allow that?
If they allowed, and they are giving loans, but imposing too much interest on that interest. Interest on loans. If they allow us freelancing and give technical trainings to youth. Hello?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Yeah.
So
Hello?
technical trainings to youth would be good, and also loans, if they would give students and other people loans to be able to start their businesses.
Yeah.
So how do you
Technical
think you
training
could,
like,
yes,
so sorry ma'am, sorry.
go
Sorry for
ahead, honey.
interruption. Yeah, technical training like digital. This is era of digital marketing, e-commerce, m-commerce, and we will boost our economy. Like,
And
hello?
there is a lot that you can learn online by yourself of
Yeah.
how to market, how to start a business online, how to
Yeah.
have websites, how to sell things online. This is something that the young people know much more about than the older people, and that they can start an online business for not very much money.
Create awareness about freelancing and online courses like Fiverr, Freelancer, YouTube, even Facebook also giving the best opportunity to learn too much amount in 1 month in dollar. Even people, University of People in America is giving opportunity to all of over the world students. They are giving best education on free online.
Yes,
University.
there is so much free online that
Yeah,
if people will just access it, take
yeah,
advantage of what's there, then they can actually start their own online business for not
yeah.
very much money. Yes. Is that
Hello?
that's a good solution. That's a wonderful solution. Yes.
Yeah, in very little cost they purchase website and hello.
Yes. Yes, we can hear you. Developing a website for very little cost. Yes.
Yeah,
That's
on
a good
hello.
solution.
Yeah. Make their own YouTube channels, Facebook business platforms. Hello.
Yes. And all of that can be done for not very much money.
Yeah, very little cost. In Pakistani currency, 2,000 and might be $5, $10. They will purchase like
Right.
as a shop, their own shop, and run
Yes.
business.
Yes. This is a
Yeah.
good solution. So I hope everyone is listening. Tell me your name so I can hear how to say it correctly, honey.
Sorry. Hello.
Your name.
Sorry, ma'am.
Say your name so I can hear it correctly. Your name. Your name.
Nida Rahim. Nida.
Nida. Nida.
Yeah, Nida.
Rahim.
Yeah.
Nida Rahim. Ah,
Yeah.
such a pretty name. And
Thank you. Thank
you're
you.
lovely.
Thank
She
you,
gave
ma'am.
very good solutions that
Thank
every
you.
one of you young people can go online and start your own website and sell something, even if it's your knowledge. You can
Yeah.
create your own course, create your own training, create your own ebook, and you can be doing this even when you're young. Thank you for
Become
that.
a. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Did you have one more thought? Did you have one more thing?
And just adding something virtual as work as a virtual assistant. You teach online people teach become an online teacher. Sell your product online.
Yes.
And
Yes.
perform.
Yes. That's a wonderful solution. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. So, honey, let's see. Robin, I'm trying to find, who is it that you said had his hand raised? Robin? Who is it that had his hand raised?
Sorry, I was trying to unmute myself. It's Abadan.
Okay, Abadan. And I'm looking for that right now. Oh, there we go. Okay. Lower hand. And Abadan, can we hear you now, honey?
Yes.
Yay! Okay, sweetheart. So will you talk to us about the problem? What country are you in?
I'm from Zambia.
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 Zambia. Okay, and what is the biggest problem in Zambia?
The biggest problem in Zambia is poverty.
Poverty.
I don't know if yes, poverty. Most of the people lack access to basic needs such as secure food supply.
Talk a little louder, honey. A little louder.
All right. I'm saying most of the Zambians are living under the poverty that I'm laying. Over 73% of Zambians are living in extreme poverty. And most of them have no access to basic needs such as water, education, secure food supply, and health care facilities. And there are two groups of people that have been very much affected by poverty in our country, and that's the children and the women. We have so many children in Zambia who are in the streets. We've got so many street kids as a result of HIV and AIDS, so many orphans, and we have children who are, instead of being in school, they are working for them to survive because they've got no parents. And apart from children, we've got women who have really been affected by poverty because we've got so many women who are taking care of families, and they are facing so many challenges because most of the women in Zambia, they are less educated. Most of the women have less formal employment, and they've got just too many domestic responsibilities, making them unable to engage in activities which can then earn them an income. So poverty is really a burden and a problem in Zambia. We've got so many dependents. The adults who are supposed to take care of the young ones have been hit by HIV and AIDS, and some of them are unable to feed their families and just to take care of their families. So that's a really big problem in the country. Poor access to education and poor access to health care facilities, and lack of secure food supply, like I had mentioned. So those are really, it's a very big problem. And the second problem I would like to talk about is our economy in Zambia, which is very, very poor. Our economy is poor. If you look at our currency compared to the US dollar, $1 US dollar is equivalent to about 14.67 kwacha. So, which is a very big gap. And the problem with our economy is because we depend so much on one major export, which is copper. I believe that as a country, if we can diversify, venture into maybe agriculture and also tourism, because Zambia is naturally advantaged when we talk about agriculture. We've got very good soil, and also the tourist attraction can really work out for our country. So when I look at my country, I look at those two key things as the major problems in the nation of Zambia.
Thank you so much. So your solution, and try to get a little closer. It's a little hard to hear you, but we did hear you. And thank you so much for telling us this. Now, you mentioned exporting. You said that Zambia has the export. What is the main product they export?
Copper. It's
Copa.
copper. Yes.
Copa. What is copper?
Yes, it's yes, copper. Yes, that's our major export.
What is
yes.
copa?
Copper is a mineral which is mined from.
Okay, mineral.
Yes,
Okay. Okay. So what? So the solutions to the problem in Zambia, the poverty and poverty, eliminating poverty is the #1 sustainable development goal of the United Nations. That's the first one we're going to be working on, poverty. So, and there's poverty in every nation, just some have more than others. Zambia has 73% live at the extreme poverty level. That's a huge number. And that's horrific. That's terrible. And so your solution for this, sweetheart, is more exporting and what else?
I talked about diversifying our economy. Instead of just depending on copper, we can diversify our economy and concentrate on agriculture as well as tourism, because we've got many tourist attraction sites like the Victoria Falls and also other interesting sites which can bring foreign exchange.
So what I would love to invite each one of you who have participated, I would like you to be kind enough, please, to send Robin your top solutions. The problem, the solution, because I would like to take these to some of the US, some of my friends, the relationships I have with people here, and talk to them about how our young people are coming up with solutions. And I know it will take a little minute, but if you could just send this to Robin, say, Zambia, 73% poverty, this is our biggest problem. Here are some solutions. Each one, every person on the call, not just the ones who have had an opportunity to speak, but we have every one of you on the call, you have ideas of what are the solutions. Our challenge is getting those solutions to the ears of the people who can make the decisions to help us get the funding so that we can get together as an International Youth Parliament and make progress in your nations. As you know, our biggest challenge with the IYP, our biggest challenge is funding. There are so many wonderful non-government organizations and nonprofits who are asking for money from people in the United States and throughout the world. They're saying, please help us with funding. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of nonprofits asking for money. So some of you think, Dr. Paula, why don't you just go ask some of your friends for money? You think that's a simple solution. Well, there are many people asking my friends for money. There are hundreds of people asking people in America for money. And so it's not a simple solution. Getting funding for our organization is our organization's biggest problem. And Robin and I have asked different organizations, different individuals, different people, but we are not giving up. I am not giving up. I will not give up. I will continue trying and working and making a big effort to get some funding so that we can then meet together, but then also that you will be able to do your work in your nations better, because we would be able to continue our work for you. So I just wanted on this call, before we take our break, to be able to let you know that we are working on our end on our biggest challenge, which is funding. But I want you to understand that there are so many people asking the same wealthy people for assistance. And there are over 1 million nonprofit organizations in America alone, over 1 million. And so there are so many people doing good things, wonderful things. But it's all asking the same people for funding, for money, for contributions. And so in the beginning, we thought that each one of the International Youth Parliament ambassadors would be able to go into their community and get a sponsor or get funds just a little bit from their friends or their family. But we learned that you're going to school and that that's not a possibility. And so we have dropped the requirement for you to pay because you just don't have the money. And we understand that, but we didn't understand it at first. And so now we understand it, and it's not a requirement any longer for any International Youth Parliament ambassador or delegate to pay any money to be part of this group. We are looking to others to help us fund this group, to contribute, to donate. And so that is what we'll continue doing, to try to get help that way. And what we ask of you is to do your part. When Robin asks you to do an assignment, we know you're busy, but this won't take you very long. It doesn't take long to do what she asks you to do. And then you can stay engaged, you can stay connected and part of what we're doing. And then also, everyone on this call, we would like you to tell your number one problem and then the solution or many solutions, whatever your ideas are, for your nation. Because part of our job now, my job, is to get your ideas to people who then can help you and help your nation. And I can say, this is the problem in Zambia, in India, in Uganda. And then it's not just Dr. Paula going to these people and say, I have wonderful young people who really want to make a difference in their nations. I'm showing them you. I'm showing your videos, that you sent us your videos. We're showing them the Facebook page. We're showing them that you are engaged, that you are contributing, that you're coming on the calls, because they're not going to fund us if you don't participate. No one is going to want to contribute if we don't show that we have young people who are participating. And so that's why Robin is saying, please participate. And the ones who aren't participating, then we will invite others to take their place, because we must have young people who are like you, who are coming onto the calls, who are thinking about these problems, who are coming up with solutions to these problems. That's what we need on our end. And I love that you're thoughtful. I love that you're thinking about what can we do to help this 73%, or what can we do to help these, like the corruption at the high level, the embezzlement of money by the leaders in Uganda and Nigeria and so many other places. There are big problems, but we also have big, wonderful solutions that if we can get the message to the media. You see, if we can tell on the radio, on the television, on YouTube channel, on Facebook, on all social media, if we start with one voice, we are united as an International Youth Parliament saying, we believe that here is the solution and this is what we will do to help. Then we will get the attention of the leaders of the nations. They will hear the youth, the voice of the youth. They will hear your cries. They will hear you saying, this is not okay. This must be fixed, and we will help fix it. We're not just saying to the leaders, you fix it. We're saying, we will help fix it. We are here to be the guardians of tomorrow. We do not want the women and the children to suffer. We are coming up with solutions. And that is what the International Youth Parliament is all about. You are thinking about the problems. You are identifying the problems. Then you come up with solutions. Then we share those solutions with the people in your nations and in the world, and have them, and we keep talking to them until they pay attention, until they listen to us. Because when someone is crying for help over and over and over, someone is going to hear, and then as a big group, we will be able to touch the hearts and change the lives of the people in your nations. But we cannot do it unless you are, and everyone is participating. But you are participating, so thank you so much. We appreciate that. But I need you to do what I asked you to do. Send Robin and CC me. You have my email. You've got my email, so many emails. Just send us the problem and the solutions. Then I can share with the people I'm trying to get funding from and saying, look at, they are thoughtful. They are working on this. Now, my darling friends, the problems in Nigeria or India or Pakistan or Uganda or any of the nations where you live, we must think of them as all of our problems, because this is one big family. The problems of Nigeria are the problems of the other nations. The problems everywhere are the problems that we all want to help solve. It's not just you're going to solve the problem in your nation. We're going to help everyone in the parliament solve their problems. And that brings me to my final piece that I wanted to share on this call. And it is a poem by John Donne. And it's very simple. It says, "No man is an island." And that means that your problems are just as important to me as they are to you. I care about the women and the children and the men and the boys, all the wonderful people in these nations who are suffering. And that's why we started this organization, so that the people of the world will listen to the youth who are saying this is wrong and we must fix it. I want to help you. Robin wants to help you. Jackie wants to help you. Your parents want to. The wonderful people in your nations want to. But we all need to unite together and in one voice say, listen to us, because we want a better world and we have ideas of how to get that better world. We must have the leaders of your nations listen. But all of our problems are each other's problems, because no man is an island. And I will read this to you. It's from my book, Solutions for Families. And it says, no man is an island. No man stands alone. And of course, this is women too. Each man's joy is joy to me. Each man's grief, that means sadness, is my own. We need one another. So I will defend each man as my brother, each woman as my sister, each man as my friend. I saw the people gather. I heard the music start. The song that they were singing is ringing in my heart. No man is an island. No man stands alone. Each man's joy is joy to me. Each man's grief, each man's sorrow is my own. We need one another. So I will defend each man as my brother, each man as my friend. I love you. I honor you. I am so grateful for you. Have courage. Have determination. Don't give up on your dream to make a difference in this world. And you can be the guardians of tomorrow. I love you. Thank you so much. I'm now going to open it so that you can see each other and tell each other. Let's see, I need to unmute everyone. Just a moment, have patience. Unmute all. And now you can all hear each other.
Appreciate you.
I love you, I love you, I love you.
We love you.
We love you,
man. We love you, man.
Love you.
We love
you.
Robin, ma'am. Paula, ma'am. From India.
Thanks for coming.
We love you from Nigeria.
We love you
We
from United
Love you.
States.
India.
Thanks
We
for
love
being there
you,
for
our
us.
friend.
We
We
love
love
you.
IYP families from
Love
India.
you all from
We
Nigeria.
love
Yeah.
we love IYP families from India.
From India. Wonderful.
Hello?
And I love
Hello?
you.
God loves you.
I love you, ma'am, from
I love
Pakistan.
you from Pakistan. Thank you, beautiful.
Love you.
Thank you,
Everyone,
Mom, from
IYP
President
families, our
from Nigeria.
friends.
Our friends, our family.
You pick yourself, you can talk.
Yeah, only when she
IYP
allows it.
family, whole IYP family, we love you all.
Thank you
Thanks
for
for participating.
coming. Okay. And now I'm going to stop the recording. Want to stop that?